Okay, our session now is recorded here. So what I want to do here is go ahead and kind of show you here is for some of the things that we're going to be talking about today. When I talk about get your SHIT together, right? This is everybody. I don't care how far advanced you are in your finances. We want to talk about these four critical things here, right? Get your shit together. All right. And so when we talk about this here, we're talking about four different principles. We're talking about salary, as far as your income that you bring in. We're looking at your house. And then also, too, we're looking at your investments and then the actual taxes in itself. We're going to be talking about these four specific things here today. All right. So this is very important here. So when we talk about the first one here, right, which is your salary. Man, this is very surprising because I was speaking to a school teacher yesterday, and she worked down here in state of Florida, and she's in what we call a Florida retirement system. And she's been working as a teacher now for 15 years, and she did not understand her Florida retirement system, which is a pension plan, and how it's actually paid out. So I explained that to her. One, if you're a teacher and you in the Florida retirement system, if you look at your pay stub, 3%, 3% automatically comes out your check every time that you get paid. And the state of Florida also contributes 3.5% towards your pension. She didn't know this, right? She hadn't even logged into her FRS to even see what it's actually growing into. So, guys, this is what I'm saying when it comes to our actual salaries, right? We need to understand the benefits that actually come with it, right? So let's start out here and let's talk about this first one right here, right? So we all make salaries, or you make some type of income, or whatever your job is paying you. But when we look at these five different principles right here when it comes to our salary, think about it. Are you in line and due for a pay raise? Are you in line as far as, like me, for the federal government? It's kind of stagnated for us when they actually do their pay raises. What about bonuses? Are you in line for a bonus this year? Do you know when your bonus is going to come? Do you know as far as what it takes in order for you to get the bonuses? Are you reaching these different milestones when it comes to your particular salary to make sure that you get the bonus and then you get the next level up salary and whatever it takes in order for you to get the particular pay raise? They may have some performance measures out here the way say, okay, look, if you perform at a certain level, this is how much you're going to get based on your particular pay raise. I know I'll take it back to the Florida school system again. I think with teachers, when they get certain performances, right, based on how they're performing in the classroom, right, it gives a measure of how much they're going to get paid on their pay raises. If you're a college instructor, right, I'm sure that's pretty much assessed on your pay raise based on your performance in the classroom and how you evaluate it, right? These are all things that we need to consider when it comes to our particular salary, just to make sure that we're actually increasing and not decreasing, because what's getting ready to happen is something what we call inflation, right? Inflation now is up 8.5% over the last year. So if your salary, and more than likely 90% of the people in the United States today, their salary is not increasing 8.5% over the last year and then going forward. But here's what we talked about a little bit earlier in the week. If you go and get a new job, a survey came out on CNBC says that if with your new jobs, if you're going to get a new job, it's about 11% on average more than what you currently make it now. So new jobs understand and feel that if they're hiring new employees, they have to be paying more because inflation is going up. And now you can negotiate your salary because they don't necessarily know your current salary. So you can negotiate to see where you're at. So if you're at your job and you say, hey, look, I'm not maxing out as far as when you sit right here, right? Are you maxed out from growing? If you're maxed out from growing and you want a new opportunities, man, go for it. You got to go out there of it because interest rates, inflation is definitely increasing. Another thing I want to look at right here, right, is the benefits. And this is very surprising. A lot of people do not understand their benefits when it comes to their jobs. So when it comes to your life insurance, normally what happens is your life insurance, your job at least provide minimally of what your actual salary is for that particular year. So let's say, for instance, for me, I work for the federal government. My minimum life insurance is what my salary is for the government. Now, I could pay extra into it, but what I've done is I have supplemental life insurance outside of my job. I got it when I was 33. It's term life insurance, and I got it for $1 million, right? So generally, the golden rule is you want to have 10 times worth whatever your salary is for your life insurance. So if you make I just throw a number out here. If you make $100,000 a year, you need to have 10 times that, which is $1 million. And my recommendation is a term life policy. If you make $50,000 a year, you need to have at least a $500,000 term life policy. Because why we say term life is because in the Let's Win financial community, what we're doing is we're teaching you guys how to build your money through assets, right? So we want to have a term life policy for 20, 25, 30 years. We get into a whole life policy, we're paying in that until we get to 80 to 90. And what happens is once you pay into this, it's a lot more in the whole life. As you continue to build up assets, you don't necessarily need be paying for whole life insurance when you're in your 70s and your 30s. All right. So that's very important here. Now, let me just tell you another thing too, with our particular salaries. I don't know if you guys take this into equation, but when you actually look at your salary, and you might not be happy with your salary, but I want you to look at this from a holistic standpoint. If your job is actually matching your 401k contribution, that's part of your salary package, because what happens is that's free money. Me, I work for the federal government. They pay 5% towards the matching of my particular contribution. I use that example again. This is not what I make, but I was using an example. Let's say, for instance, I make $100,000, right? I may look at that and say, okay, look, that's my particular salary. But if the government is matching me 5% of that, that's $5,000 now. Now, if you look at it from a holistic standpoint, instead of $100,000, that's $105,000 when you look at what your job is paying you and what they're matching you. Another thing with this here, right, with the whole matching contributions, I have what we call my health insurance. I have what we call a health savings account. The federal government, they matches that, or they provide me in my particular healthcare plan $125 a month. They put that in my healthcare plan. That's $1,500 a year. That's $1,500 a year that I'm adding to my particular salary when I look at it from a holistic standpoint. So when you look at your salary, I want you guys to say, okay, look, whatever my matching is, whatever the contributions or whatever my job is giving me, look at it from the whole benefit aspect. And if you feel like you can get additional pay or you can get more bonuses in your particular career field, guys, I'm going to say go out there, because a lot of people are going back to work. A lot of people want to hire. And now what's happening is when you negotiate for your salary, somebody saying, well, hey, we want to accept you into this particular job, and we want to offer you $110,000, right? If you feel like you work more than that, your tactic is to say, you know what? My overall minimum acceptability is $125,000, $120,000, right? So if they can't pay you as far as with the salary, the next thing is you go and ask, okay, look, well, what benefits do you offer that you can get me to that particular minimum expectation level, what I'm seeking of $125,000? So if they want to pay you $110,000, maybe they can throw a $15,000, $10,000 benefit plan towards to help you in get to your expectation of your salary. Because what happens is it all adds up, man, over time as it continues to grow over time. So salary is the first thing, that getting your SHIT together. When we look at these 5 principles here, pay raises, bonuses, are you maxed out? Are you looking for new jobs to potentially help you grow? Are you adding on potential if you have a current job? Maybe we get a side hustle or starting a business for your overall household income, your benefits. Do you understand and know your benefits and you're matching 401k contributions? This is very important. All right. Before I go on here to our into house, based off the information that I shared here, we're going to have some question and answers at the end as well. But some of the information I've shared thus far, does anyone have any particular questions? If you so, just unmute yourself or be in the chat, and we'll be able to address that as well. But anything in particular, does anyone have any questions so far on the salary aspect here? Nope. Okay. All right. You can, if you don't have it now, you can always come back towards the end of the session here, right? Hey, look, man, H, right? Getting your SHIT together, get your shit together, right? Which is your house. So when we look at a house and we focus on a house, the first thing that we want to be able to protect is our actual budget. And sorry, my kids are downstairs screaming, so I do apologize for that. I think I gave them the warning, but I don't think they got the hint. uh, so when we talk about our house here, for instance, right? The budget. Now we're in the end of April, and so we're getting ready to come into the month of May. And so now what's happening is our budgets is more important than ever because you know what we're doing this summer? We are going on vacations. We are doing more shopping more than ever. Kids are out of school. And guys, I would just tell you right about now, my budget alone for my house, I normally don't spend a lot of money, but this year is the biggest year ever, man. I mean, look, I'm going to New York in June. Next weekend, we going to Legoland. 3 weeks after that, we going to Busch Gardens. Going to Jamaica in August. Leslie going to Cancun, Mexico. And I think sometime in June per se, right? So we got a bunch of stuff going on for this summer. But it's important for me in order to protect my house, in order to have, so all those trips I just mentioned, they're all on a budget right about now, and they're all planned out as far as how much money that we plan on spending. It's not going on a credit card, but what it is, I'm sorry, it is going on a credit card. We're getting the actual points from it, and then we're paying it off, right? But here's the thing, though. By using my particular credit card, which is the Chase Sapphire credit card that I use, right? We get the points for it. And so some of those trips that we're taking, let's say, for instance, Leslie and I were going to New York at the beginning of June. One of her friends is having a baby shower. She's going to have a baby. And that's going to be on a Saturday. I think it's like June the 4th or something like that. But we are leaving on that Friday. So I told Leslie she wanted me to go because it's a co-ed. I said, we go to New York. Anytime I go to New York, I got to go see my friends and my colleagues at the New York Stock Exchange. So I'm going to Wall Street Friday. I told her, I say, look, I'll go with you. We got to go to New York Stock Exchange. So I hit up my buddies and let them know that I want to come next month. So Leslie be our first time going into the building itself. I don't think she's big into it like I am. Matter of fact, I know she's not. But those are just some of the things that we're planning for. And that's what you should be planning for in your budget, particularly in May. If you don't have your budget set, I recommend for you today is a good day because tomorrow starts the 1st of May. And so we want to be able to say what's actually incoming for May, which is your budget, and then what's outgoing. But the main problem here is when we look at this right here, and I got my mom online right here, right? So if you look at an older person, right, and I'm not calling you old, but let's say, for instance, when we get old in life, our incomes get to be to a point where it's a fixed income. Well, we're living in like that in today's age because we're in a fixed income environment because guess what? More than likely, you get paid twice a month. All right. Or sometime if you get paid every other week, you get some months where you pay 3 times a month. Where I'm going with this is because we got one job where we depend on that one income. It's a fixed income. And when it's a fixed income, we don't have any additional money coming. So we have to make sure that we budget appropriately. If we don't budget appropriately, guess what happens? Now we take the credit card and whatever we don't budget for, then we use it on the credit card. And then now the credit cards continue to stack up. So let's just do it here. Let's budget. And so what I always recommend here is let me go back right here on the Facebook page and just share this here with you guys. It's a great spreadsheet that I have when it actually comes to our budgets in itself here, right? So I want to pinpoint you guys back here. And I've shared this before, but this is what I use as far as my actual budget, this particular spreadsheet. I want to go right here and share this here with you really quick. Let me see here. So when right here on the Let's Win Financial Group page here, if you just go right back up here, right, and you look at these files right here, and you click on files, you can go right here and look at these 2 budget templates right here. One, it gives you overall, like you look at your overall top monthly income minus your expenses, whereas another one, it looks as far as each time you get paid, you can actually look at as far as, let me see if I can pull this up here. You can look at and you can put in whatever your income is and then the actual expenses that actually goes with it. So this particular budget right here, as I open this up, this right here pretty much gives you can go in here, personal income, personal budget, right? And so you got your first half of the month, second half of the month. Let's say, for instance, you got some additional things that you're doing. But once you put these numbers in here, if I go right here, say first half of the month, I can go here and let's say, for instance, I put in, me enable editing here. All right. I could go in here and I want to put in, say, $3,000 here, right? So if I make $6,000 for my job here, right? So I put in 3,000 here for the first half. I can go in right here and put in 3,000 here. All right. And let's say, for instance, if I'm an Uber driver, I'm making an additional $400 a month. Now, when you look at this particular budget here, you see your total monthly income. Once you put those numbers in, your total monthly income is $6,400. Guys, if you don't do nothing else, you should be using this spreadsheet to know how much your total income is. And then you go down here and your monthly expenses. You can go out here and put in the date, and you can put in whatever, all your monthly expenses into this right here. So if you don't know your income minus your expenses, and this shouldn't be just a one-time basis, this should be every single month. If you don't know as far as the difference between your income and your expenses, guys, you trying to get to New York and wherever you at, you ain't on a GPS. You just trying to do it on your own, and that GPS ain't gonna get you where you need to go for that specific month. So income minus expenses, we need to know that. You go here to the Facebook page, and you actually you get that there from the Facebook page. So go right over here to the Facebook page here and grab that one here. There's another one over here as well, which is in the files here. You can go over to files here, and this budget template right here. This is the one that I use every single month. Every time I get paid, every time Leslie get paid, we go and use this one right here. I don't care how much money you got, man. This right here, I've been doing this, man. This Excel spreadsheet, man, probably like over 10 plus years. All right. I go right here and I put in whatever our income is on the first half of the month. And guys, the reason why I like this right here is because it's simple and it's easy. I go in right here and put in, I just got an example here, right? Whatever your first half of the month income is, you put all your different expenses in here. The key thing is right here, you want to make sure that you put in a minus. All right, let me see here. This may have here. So you put in a minus here. Let me see here. I think you got, I got to enable the editing here, right? Enable editing. Let me just do that really quick. Enable editing. All right, come on. All right, I don't spend too much time on here, but just hit your enable editing, and you can go in here and you can update that. All right. So when it comes to the actual house side of this here, right? That's what I want to say right here, right? With our particular budgets, this is important, guys. Spring cleaning, right? We're gonna do some of this today, and reason why I got spring cleaning right here is because, man, mentally. Just think about the stuff just all around you, right? And you can't even think, right? George, I hate to put you on the spot, man, but I got my man George right here online with us, and I be on these Zooms with him, man. I'll see the back of his house, and it's like a Martha Stewart type house, So everything is organized, everything is neat. So for your house, do some spring cleaning, because mentally, that helps your mind to be clear. You got stuff all over the place, man. You can't really think in that particular nature, right? And so there's already stress in the world. So think about some spring cleaning. And with spring cleaning, there's things that we can actually get rid of to make money off of. Go on Amazon, go on Etsy, go take it to your local charity and make sure you get that receipt, because here shortly, we're going to be talking about taxes, ways to help you lower your taxable income. We're talking right here for our house and our interest rates, right? This is important because what's happening is our interest rates now are definitely going higher. I just refinanced our primary house two months ago, and now we got a 2% on a 15-year. If you go and look at interest rates today, man, they are very, very, very high. They're going at 5.5%. If you buy investment property, it's going to be 6+%, right? Guys, the next one here, expenses and debt. Now, one of the main things what I do right here, right? And some of you guys that's on today, you fairly new here to Let's Win Financial Community. But what I want to share here with you is we use a system of what we call undebt.it. Now, guys, some of you, I have introduced this to you, but some of you, we're not going in and we're not following this, right? So for the ones that's new here, right, what I want to do is I want to go right here. I want to share this screen right here. If you are in debt, man, this is one of the best debt management tools that you can use, right? And we'll be doing a class specific on this right here in May. So with Undebt IT here, just real quick here, I'm just going to just focus on this for 1 minute here, right? I'm just going to log in. And what I've done is I've created this dummy account. So specifically, we got a few people here that's brand new. I want to show you really quick So if you look at this here, right? Let me go right back up here to my easy mode. And all right. So let's say, for instance, right? This is one credit card. All right. And this one credit card right here is $3,250. Here's the balance here. And right now, what this particular undead IT, what it's going to tell us is when you're going to be debt free based on your particular credit card, right? We can go in right here, man. We can add in more accounts, but this is a dummy account. So, all right, you can always add more accounts. But when you go in here, right, when you go and add a new account, you can go in. This is what you want to make sure you have. You want to make sure you have your balance, your highest balance, and your credit limit is normally the same. So the credit limit on this was 17,000. The balance on this currently is $3,250. So you go right here, you look at this monthly payment, this example right here, this particular person paying $400 a month. Guys, but look at this interest rate on this. This is where I want to show here with you, right? If you ain't following your money going to be in control of you. Because when you go right here and look at this interest rate, if I go right over here to this dashboard right here tells me currently monthly interest. This person here is paying about, or in this example, is paying about $47.13 in monthly interest. Man, that adds up. That's $50, almost $50 a month. If you add that up, I mean, what's that? 12 times 5 that's like $600 a year. That's stuff that you could be going on vacations with, with kids and things of that nature. But it's very important on this undead IT, because what happens is you go and look at your total debt, your minimum payments. And what this does, what I like is you can go right here and pick your debt snowball. You go right here and pick your debt avalanche. But the main thing is every month it gives you a specific plan. All right. And then if you keep scrolling down, it tells you out of that $3,250 balance, here's the interest that you're paying on it. All right. So this is important. So when we talk about this here, right, we want to talk about getting in control of our debt in itself, because that's very important when we go and we look at being in control of our house. Because what happens is, man, once that debt, once it takes over, you can't do a lot of stuff, right? If your income is limited. So we want to be able to control our expenses and our debt. Your emergency fund. Do you have at least, say, 3 months worth of emergency fund? If not, we want to say focus on that, right? We can be investing all day, but guess what? We know what the stock market is doing now. We're in a downtrend. When you put money in that emergency fund, when you go there 2 months from now, it's going to be that same amount, because you need to make sure that in the event, if a hot water heater go out, you need to use your insurance deductible is there for you. So at least a minimum 3 months worth of emergency fund. If you have a very stable job, we would say 2 months. If your job is unstable, let me just go back, instead of saying 3 months, you want 6 months. All right. That's very important. All right. So guys, check this out. This is getting cushy. I got a nice little example here, right? So in part of get your SHIT together, right? We're talking about investments. I'm going to use Anna and Charles. I got this one example right here. Let me explain this here to you really quick. Let me bring these two up right here. Anna and Charles. Now, this is where it gets really sweet for me, right? So check this out. So we got Anna right here, right? And I didn't put an age. With Anna, but you know what? I'm gonna go ahead right here, and I'm gonna say Anna's 40 years old. All right. So we got Anna here, and then we got my man right here, Johnny, right? And so let me just say right here, Johnny. Let's say, for instance, Johnny a little bit younger than Anna, right? So Johnny 38, right? So in this particular scenario, we got Anna right here, right? So in 2008, right, after the stock market went down 37%, Anna decided to stop investing in her Roth IRA because she thought the stock market was too risky. She had been investing for 3 years. And we go right here and we look at my man, Johnny, for example, right? Johnny, right? Even in 2008, he still continued to invest, right? And Johnny kept investing in his Roth IRA up until today. So what I've done is I got this spreadsheet right here, right? You look at Anna and you look at my man, Johnny here, right? So if I take this right here, and let me see if I can go ahead. I should have updated this here, right? Let me see, 2008. Actually, I want to add it right here. Let me see if I can do 2008. I didn't update. All right. So what we're going to have to do is, for today's purposes, hold on, let me see if it updates right here. Let me see. Yeah, it didn't. All right. So here's what I want to do here. All right, let's see, 2021. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. This chart right here, what I want to share here with you really quick. You see right here, 2008, and it's 37%. This is where Anna right here got tripped up. And this is where we're at right here today when it comes to if you're seeing some red in your portfolio. Some people are right now, so showing it's a little risky right about now, right? I want to show you how risky it really is to you, right? So we go right here and we look at Anna example, right? And so we're going to go right here. And let's say, for instance, we'll take and say for 2008, say for instance, right? We go right here. We're going to say Anna was, let me see here. We're in 2022. Let me see here. 2008 for Anna. That was 2018. So 14 years ago. All right. And Anna's 40 now. So let's say, for instance, Anna right here, she started investing 3 years before that. So let's say, for instance, she's 33. All right. So she started investing at the age of 33. All right. And Anna today is right here at 40. All right. So we're going to take this right here. All right. And we'll say 33. Now, what happens is, let's say, for instance, Anna was investing $200 a month, all right, or $2,400 for the year. And she was doing that for 3 years. All right. So think about this. Even though I know this right here says 2024, but let's say, for instance, this right here is 2008. All right. So we just do this right here. It's 2007. All right. 2006. All right. And we'll make this 2005. All right. But Anna right here, so we take these 3 years right here, she was doing $200 a month. But in 2008 right here, when the market went down, Anna decided to say, you know what? I don't want to invest no more because it's risky. All right. And because she decided to do that, right? Because now when she got here to the age of 40, her $2,400 her $2,400 per year that she was investing was a total here of about $7,200 if she was getting 12% annual rate of return, which is what the S&P 500 is doing. All right. Now that $7,200 right here is worth about $15,985 here. All right. So I want to do this here, though, over a longer period here, right? So let's say, for instance, if Anna was 23 right here, all right? And if we went right here, and let's say, for instance, today Anna is 40, all right? Let's look at it from this perspective. If Anna did this for the first 3 years here, and this right here wound up being 2008, and then right here at 40, she got $49,000. Let's say, for instance, we round this up to say $50,000 because she decided to stop investing after the 3 years here, after the market went down in 2008 right here, it was down 37%. She decided to say, okay, look, it's just risky. All right. Well, look at all these years, what it did office, right? But let's go right here and look at my man Charles, though, because he stayed patient, not Charles, Johnny, because he stayed patient into it, right? So let's go right here and we're going to use the same example. Let's say, for instance, Johnny right here, he's a couple years younger than her, right? So let's say, for instance, Johnny right here, he started at the age of 21, all right? And Johnny did the same $200 a month or $2,400, all right? So we go right here and we're going to take this all the way down right here to when Johnny now is 40, all right? Let me kind of clean this up here really quick just to make sure you guys kind of understand this, right? This chart right here, if you guys don't have this, I'm going to put this on the Facebook page under files so you guys can actually have it. When you look at Johnny right here, because he decided to still continue to invest, you now see that he has $293,000 here because you know what? He kept getting his 12% annually, all right? And because if you go right here and you look at Anna, when she got 40, she had $50,000 right here, all right? Now, this is very important because this is the difference. If you look at here, you're talking almost round this up, say $300,000, and now you're talking about $50,000 here. That's a difference of about $250,000 here because if you decide to stop investing because of this right here, and because what you're seeing now, because you get emotional about your portfolio because you see red, hey, look, today is the best time to invest because, now you're buying at these discounts. Now, let me share this here with you. I made this right here last night. April was one of the worst months that we just came out of, right? It's the third worst start of the year. Let me see if I can minimize this a little bit. Let me see here. I think you guys can see this. Yes. Okay. So you see your stock performances in April. If you go right here and if you look at it, right, Netflix was down 51%. Amazon was down 26, Tesla down 20, Google down 19, Microsoft down 12, Facebook down 12, Apple down 11. But look at, so I put some companies on here that actually was up in April as well. Walmart was up 4%, Coke was up 3%, Pepsi was up 2%, right? What's important here, what I want to share here with you is all these companies right here, they've been around for a long time. The reason why these companies right here were down so big is because the government is basically telling us inflation is going up. The consumer price index now is 8.5%. So based on that, to get prices of goods and services down, the federal government, they're deciding to increase interest rates. And when they increase interest rates, when you apply for a mortgage loan, when you apply for a car loan, when you apply for that next credit card, the interest rates are going to be a lot higher because what happens is, right, when the government was giving stimulus checks over the last 2 years, they was flooding the economy with money. And now there's not enough of nothing because now people are still sitting on this money. That's why you got 30 to 40 people applying for a house and these housing prices are going up. And now that's why you're seeing this market and what it's doing now. All right. Now, let me share this here with you. This is very important because I share this chart right here with you as well. Here's how you can go and find the money as far as how it's actually doing. All right. So I'm gonna go right here. And I'm gonna put this link right here actually in the chat. Once it actually pulls up, you're gonna be able to see how each sector in the US sector performed for the month of for April here. All right. So we go right here, and this affects your retirement accounts, guys. This is very important right here. All right. So when we go right here and we look at sectors, right? Your S&P 500, that's the overall market, how it performed. We go right here and we hit this 1 month right here. All right. You guys see right here. So these are all the different sectors. And many of you guys, wherever you work at, you belong in one of these sectors. All right. So let's say, for instance, my brother, he works for Johnson & Johnson. He's an engineer there. He works in the healthcare sector. My sister, she used to work at a bank. All your banks belong in the financial sector. You may work at a Chevron or Exxon. That's your energy sector. Technology, you may work for Apple store, you may work for a Microsoft store, right? That's your technology sector. But you see right here, this consumer staples, this was the out of this month, you see the overall for April, this overall stock market was down 10.79%. But consumer staples, what consumer staples is, when I tap on this here, you will see these, what we call old standing companies, right? These are companies that where if the market does go, or if we go into a recession, people, regardless of however financial state that we're in, they're going to shop at these companies here. All right. You see Hershey's right here. People still going to buy Hershey's. They still going to buy candy, regardless if the market is down or not. It's up 5% this year. You go right here and look at Coca-Cola, right? Coca-Cola, a Coke might cost you $2, $3. In a recession on the market going down, people still going to buy it. It's up 3.94% this year. All right. So when you go right here and you look at year to date, though, and you look at as far as how each particular sector is doing so far this year, energy still remains as the best performing sector at 35%. But if you go right here and look over the last month, energy was down about 1.89%. So it wasn't as bad. It's still, I think, out of all these particular sectors here, outside of consumer staples, was still the best performing sector here. All right. What was the worst performing sector, which was technology? Right? Technology, because guess what? Because interest rates and inflation is increasing, what's happening is these technologies, these fast growing companies, and these fast growing companies, they're the ones that's taking a big hit as interest rates increase. All right. But when you buy into this here 2-3 years from now, this is going to be your biggest gainer because you go right here, look over a 5-year period, look at technology. We on live Zoom right now. If you got an iPhone, that's technology. You get in your car, you use some computer chips in your car, that's technology. We lean and depend on the heavenly. It's down. That's the best buying opportunity to buy when it's actually down. All right. So this is a very good site right here that we like using here. Now, I want to show you one other thing here on the investment piece. And then we're going to go over here to taxes. So guys, taxes, I got a 1040 tax form. I'm going to go over here with you really quick. But check this out. I go right here in this back test portfolio. And this right here is the real test between when we go back over here to this example right here with Johnny and Anna. This right here is a real good scenario of actuals, right? When Anna was 40 years old, and my man Johnny right here is 38, we're gonna go right here and we're gonna put in some information here, right? So we're gonna go right here and we're gonna put in, say, 2008. We go right here, we're gonna say 2000, not my fact, we're gonna say 2005 right here. All right. And let's say, for instance, we're gonna take this right here to 2009, because this is Anna example here. So 2005 to 2009, this is what Anna was doing, right? This is the scenario that I mentioned to you here with Anna, where in 2008, after the stock market went down 30%, Anna decided to stop investing in a Roth IRA because she thought the stock market was too risky. She had been investing for 3 years now. So when we go back over here, when we go back right here, 3 years, this would be actual 2006, all right, is when she started. All right. And let's say, for instance, we take right here, Anna would have opened up an account with $100. And then we said that Anna was investing $200 per month. All right. So you take this $200 right here, instead of annually, we're gonna go right here and we're gonna put per month. All right. And we go right here, and let's say, for instance, we're gonna use some generalized investments here. We're gonna take Apple. All right. We're gonna take a Microsoft. All right. And then we're going to take a Bank of America. All right. And then let's say, for instance, we would take a Amazon. All right. And now what we're going to do is we're going to use the same thing here for my man Johnny as well. We're going to divide this right here into 4 slices. All right. Now what happens is this is going to show us for Anna, from these 3 years that she was investing, starting out with $100, doing $200 a month. This right here is going to show us what her portfolio, all right, would have been worth. Okay. You go right here. So her final balance on this would have been about $14,870. Okay. Because she did what we call $200 a month. That's $2,400 a year over 3 years. I think if we do our math on that, she still made some good money, right? On this here. But check this out. My man Johnny, same example here, right? Say 2006. And he decided to do this here. We're going to take this all the way to 2022. Same example, starting out with $100 a month, doing $200. Regardless, 2008 didn't scare him. All right. So he still kept investing on a monthly basis. We still keep this same funds here for this example, split 4 ways. Instead of having, I think what Anna had was $14,870, right? Say $15,000, because Johnny kept investing, right, over this period here from 2006 to 2022. Watch this. $431,000. So some people be trying to figure out, man, how people get to these next levels, right? Because they stay committed, because they stay disciplined, and they don't get emotional and fearful about what they're seeing currently, right? Because my man Johnny continued to stay here. Let me just say this here really quick. Let me pause this here really quick. When the market go down the way it was, this week was a very bad week for this month, right? People tell me, Sherwin, what you doing, right? You know what I'm doing? I'm continuing still doing the same thing that I've been doing last year, 2 years, 3 years from now, because that example that I just showed you there with Johnny, he stayed disciplined, he stayed consistent. Do not let emotions and fear take you to where you get out of to where if you're in Jacksonville, Florida, and you're trying to get to New York, and you turn off that GPS because you may see some rain and you may see some storm, and then you stop. Keep going, follow the GPS. All right. This is very important here. Let's get to our taxes here really quick, and then we're going to be done on our getting your SHIT together here. All right. So I go back over here, and we're going to talk about taxes here, right? So taxes. Now, what I want to share here with you with our taxes is many of you guys just file your taxes and you just got them back. Some people pay money back. Some people didn't pay money back. But what I do want to share here with you really quick is let me go right here. I do have a 1040 tax form. Does anybody know when you look at your 1040 tax form, how much you actually paid in taxes? I'm going to actually show you that here. All right. So we go right here and I go to the IRS website. Let me see here. Here we go right here. This IRS website right here. All right. This right here is what you call your 1040 form for 2021. All right. Now, if you go on your 2021 tax form, and if you go to line item 24 here, you will see the total taxes that you paid for 2021. All right, that's very important. Now, you will see here, if you owed any money back, you will see it right here in line item 37. Now, I'm going to tell you, as far as when you go up here to block number 2 right here, or your wages and salaries, this right here automatically tells you if you make $100,000 a year, they're going to put it automatically right here. Boom, $100,000. But then now you start getting what we call these standard deductions. Let me see if I can make this bigger right here. All right. Now you start to get these standard deductions. So let's say, for instance, your wage right here might have been $100,000, but if you didn't itemize, and let's say, for instance, you were married, filing jointly, your standard deduction for 2021 was $25,100. So automatically you take your $100,000 minus that $25,100. Now that's your taxable income. But that doesn't include other things like credits, your IRA distributions, things like that, to even further lower your taxable income. So when you go back, and if you have somebody prepare your tax return, you want to go right here and look at this 1040 here. And it's very important information to go back and say, okay, look, did I take advantage of everything? If you were single and you had kids, you want to do head of household, right? Where you're single and you have dependents that you're claiming, whether it's your older parents or whoever, right? You got head of household. Your standard deduction for 2021 was $18,800. If you were single, married separately, excuse me, your standard deduction was $12,550 here. This is very important. Now, this is the last thing I want to share here with you, and then we're going to be done here. Now, for 2022, this is what I want to share here with you guys as far as what we want to do to make sure that we're prepared for our taxes this year and helping us lower our taxable income. All right. Ways to lower your taxable income. This is so important when it comes to our taxes. Go back and look at your W-4, right? You do withholdings of zero. That's you paying most back to the government. So if you're doing zero, most likely you're maximizing this. And okay, Uncle Sam, I want to give you back the most because I don't want to be to a point where I have to pay you back at the end of the year. Maxing out your 401k. This is where a lot of people right here, what they do not do, which could help them out. Now, I got a member in this community. They make a bunch of money. They make over like $300,000 per year. It's like a lady. But she had to pay a lot of money back this year for 2021. My first question to her was, did you max out your 401k? Because she's older than 50, she can do up to $27,000 per year because you can do the $20,500 plus what we call the catch up if you're older than 50. So that's 20. So what happens is now she got a tax bill of almost about $12,000 that she got to pay back to Uncle Sam. But if she would have maxed out her 401k, she could actually pay herself. And when you do it pre-tax, it actually helps you lower your taxable income. So not only do you get a standard deduction, right? But then now, okay, look, you got these extra credits that's actually helping you lower your taxable income. So maxing out your 401k is very important when it comes to pre-tax. That's the key word, pre-tax. If it's Roth, it's not going to lower your taxable income, but if it's pre-tax, it will. All right. Your FSAs, we've covered this before. That's $2,850. Your FSA for dependent care, make sure you take advantage of those. Your HSAs, all these things here is what helps you lower your taxable income. Charitable contributions when it comes to your tithing. Owning a business, man. Guys, get a business. If you don't have it, it's important when it comes to your taxes, especially if you're in a high taxable income. Here's some of the things that you can take advantage of: cell phone deduction, home office deduction, tracking your business miles. For 2021, it's 58.5 cents per mile. QuickBooks, make sure you track all your expenses. Your travel, 100% deductible. Your meals is 100% deductible. Hiring your kids as employees in your business. Open up what we call a SEP IRA. So you can have a normal retirement for your job. Then you also have a SEP IRA for your business and be able to contribute towards this to help you also lower your taxable income. Real estate, that always helps out. We did a bunch of classes on that for us, helping you lower your taxable income. and contributing to what we call nonprofit organizations is key here, right? Last thing here, if I go back over here to the Facebook page, that's actually me on recording there, right? If you go back over here to the files as well, you will see right here that there is 99 different tax deductions here for business owners. So take advantage of that as well. All right. Okay. So what we have identified today is we talked about 4 distinctive things here as far as getting your SHIT together. That's your salary, that's your house, that's your investments, and that's your taxes. This is very important that these things that we discuss, especially as we in the quarter 2 now, right? There's always 4 quarters in a football game, 4 quarters in a basketball game. If the first quarter didn't go so well for you, you still now got the second quarter, got the third quarter, and we can always finish strong in the fourth quarter here. All right. All right. So I am done, guys, but I do want to take some questions for anyone that have any particular questions based off the information today or anything when it comes to finances. Any questions? You can unmute. No questions.
Hey, Sharon, this is Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, could you talk a little more about the pre-tax? Because I do see that when I'm doing my withholding and stuff for my employee online, but I never could really understand the pre-tax and what should I contribute towards the pre-tax. I just leave it 0. So I don't know if I'm doing anything wrong on that, or should I be adding something on there to help me out at the end of the year?
So, and really, Jeff, that really depends, right? So let me ask you this question here: when for your taxes this year, did you have to pay back any money, or did you get a return back?
I had to pay back.
Okay, so in your particular case, since you had to actual pay back, then what you want to do is you want to go back and you want to look at your W-4. All right. And your W-4 basically tells you the withholdings. Do you have enough taxes that's actually coming out your particular paycheck? If more than likely, if you're having to pay back money, you don't have enough taxes that's actually coming out your paycheck that's paying back to the federal government. So now you're in a situation where you have to pay back. That's basically saying, okay, look, you could have had it maybe taken out per your paychecks, but now when you file your tax return, you having to pay back.
Okay.
Now, Jeff, let me also say this here too, right? So for your 401k, does your job offer you pre-tax and then they offer you a Roth option as well?
Yes, I do see a pre-tax on the 401k also.
Okay.
We have Vanguard.
Yes.
Not Vanguard. Voyage.
So in your case, since you have to pay back to the federal government this year, you want to make sure that your contributions towards your 401k, they should be pre-tax. Pre-tax helps lower your taxable income. So you need to make sure that you have enough money coming out as far as taxes being taken out. But then also, too, you need to make sure that it's pre-tax, because when you do pre-tax, that helps lower your taxable income. You may say, hey, look, I don't know how much you're contributing. You might be contributing just maybe up to the match. A lot of people do that. But whatever your tax bill is this year, right? I don't know. Let's say, for instance, $3,000, right? But then when you decide in your 401k contributions, you need to be increasing that by at least a minimum of $3,000. And that's over, throughout the year per se, right? Which is like $200, I think, $50 per month. That way you pay yourself. And then also too, right, you don't have that tax bill at the end of the year.
Okay, definitely understand that.
Yeah, because that's always the goal, man. We don't want to pay taxes if we don't have to. That's always the key. And so, let me see here. Tiffany, out to the whole Twitter takeover. I started researching portfolio loans. Do you have any experience, opinion about portfolio loans? Tiffany, that's a great question. I don't even know. Can you maybe expound on portfolio loans a little bit more? I'm not tracking that.
Yeah. So one of the things that Musk did is that he took a loan against his portfolio. Basically, it's kind of like a home equity line of credit kind of deal where your portfolio loan is worth X amount of dollars. So the bank or whatever, is willing to give you a loan against the value of that. So I wanted to see if anyone had any experience with that or any opinions about that.
You know what? So that's something that's new, Tiffany, and that's a very great question. There is this one brokerage firm. I cannot think it off my head right about now. But let's say, for instance, if you have a regular brokerage account, which is a non-retirement investment account, what it does is it allows for you to borrow against your portfolio, similar to what Elon Musk did. I think he withdrew out about $8 billion to buy Twitter. Man, I can't think of it. But this one particular website, let's say, for instance, you got $100,000 inside of your portfolio. What it does is it allows for you to withdraw up to a certain percentage to borrow against it. And instead of paying these high fees, if you go and get a mortgage or, borrow somewhere else, that's going to be anywhere from 6 to 7%. These percentages on these, when you borrow it from these brokerage accounts, are a lot less. I mean, we're talking about 2 to 3% where you could borrow this money. And typically what happens is you do that to buy another asset, like what Elon Musk is doing with Twitter. But Tiffany, thanks for bringing that up. I do not have that particular brokerage firm now. They do it in slices as well. Matter of fact, you know what? So Tiffany, I'm gonna do some research on that, and that's going to be a class that we're going to do in May here, because that's very important. That's another unique way of just when you look at how billionaires move, right? That's pretty key here. So I gotta find this here and be able to give this information here to you. So I'll apologize, Tiffany. I do not have that knowledgeable information, but we'll do some research on it and we'll make sure that we do a class on this in May. I kind of know the principle of it, but I haven't done it before. But I think it's a good strategy as far as going in the future and buying assets. So we'll make sure that we have a class for you and show you step by step on that. All right. Any more questions? Any more questions? Now, one thing is I haven't filed my personal taxes yet. What we did and what we normally do is we extend every single year, everything. You would think that by Lester being a CPA that April 15th, we would have our taxes filed. We normally file our taxes on October the 14th or either October the 15th. That's the actual last day of the actual tax year. So what I have to do over the next few months, because unless it's so inundated in her job, she can't necessarily do our own personal taxes. So my goal is for the next couple of months is I will be consolidating all our different expenses. And our taxes is complicated because you got businesses, right? And so when it comes to real estate, man, every single month, there's always something going on with real estate, whether it's a toilet, the lawn care service. Every Tuesday, I have cleaning ladies come out. And so consolidating all those different expenses and ensuring that all the different tax advantages I'm taking advantage of. One of the strategies that I use, I talk a lot about on social media. I just did it yesterday. I have my checkbook. I wrote the boys a checks to their hourly checking accounts from my business account, $250 each. That's $3,000 a year. So by coming out of our business account to the checking account, automatically, that's a tax deduction for us. It's things like that. And I'm going to tell you like this right here, guys. There's another strategy. This is why it's important to be a business owner. You can actually rent your house out for 14 days out the year. All right. And then whatever that 14 days is, let's say, for instance, you ever wonder why when they politicians, where they go to certain houses and they do campaigns? Like for instance, let me give you a prime example. When President Obama, when he was running for presidency, right, he would come down here to Miami, Florida, and he would go to this one lady house in Miami. And the reason why I know this is because this lady here, she's a client in Leslie business. Matter of fact, Leslie oversees her tax returns. And she got this performing theaters arts, and I can't think of her name right about now, but it's down in Miami. It's huge, right? because now that she holds these campaign parties, like these slash business meetings, right? That's an actual tax deduction. So not only, right, is President Obama, when you see these politicians, right, they're raising money, but then they go to these very wealthy people houses as well. And these wealthy people, they wealthy for a reason because they're business owners. They're not 9 to 5. They don't work 9 to 5 jobs, right? And so I don't care whether you're wealthy or not. That's one strategy that you can actually do is if you actually rent your house out to hold meetings, and the IRS says that whatever that is on a per day or a weekly basis, to hold that particular meeting, you can actually write that off. Right. So if you see people doing that in the future, that's why they're doing that. It's an actual write-off. That's a strategy that we use this year to help us lower our taxable income. So Leslie and I, her job and my job and these businesses, it's quite a bit of money that comes in on a monthly basis. But so that's why we have to be to the point where we have to be smart to make sure that our taxable income is not here, but we use different tax strategies to help our taxable income to be here, because to lower your taxable income, the less that you actually pay to Uncle Sam. And you want to be in tax advantage strategies like you, for instance, Jeff. Instead of paying back Uncle Sam, you put your money into your 401k in that pre-tax where you actually paying yourself while at the same time you lowering your taxable income. So you don't have to pay back Uncle Sam in that regard, right? So that's why we say pre-taxes, pre-tax accounts, the SEP IRAs, doing these different various wealth strategies. Let me give you another prime example. When it comes to even the real estate, the federal government says that for your investment property, the federal government says over 27.3 years, you could depreciate your property. So if you buy a property for $300,000, $400,000, you take that $400,000 and you divide that by 27.3, and every single year, that's the actual deduction that you could take off to help lower your taxable income. That's one of the reasons why a lot of times people buy real estate, because they understand that the tax deductions that come with it helps them lower their taxable income. And you got millionaires, these guys, man, like own like 50, 60 units. And not only are these values increasing on the real estate units, but they're actually taking advantage of these tax deductions by depreciating these homes as well. The good thing about that is they go and get the loan from the bank. The key is just getting the loan. Once you can get the loan from the bank, then everything else is cool, because now the tenant is actually paying down the debt, right? Where you collecting and the tenant is paying for that. And while that home is appreciating over time, you're the one, and when you close it on that deal, that money now comes back to you. It don't go to the tenants. So these are just strategies, though, man. When you come to our finances, we can go to school, we can get a master's degree, we can go on and get a PhD degree. We have all different type of certifications, though, right? But once you actually go and you get a master's degree and a PhD degree in your own personal finances and these wealth strategies, right? And then now it teaches you to build these financial principles and generational wealth building. What it does is, for me, I don't buy real estate just for me. I buy it for the future of my kids per se, right? And my grandkids. And some of the things and some of the examples what we show today, even with the markets being down, that doesn't bother me because I've been doing it for so long now. I just understand it's just a system that we just consistently do it the same way we put gas in our cars or go to the grocery store to buy those things. Just put a part of your budget, don't look at it, and just automate it. And so I appreciate you guys because you're here learning, you're growing. I just share a quick story really quick. We had this one female, she was in some debt, paying back towards her 401k. She just refinanced her house and she got a cash out refinance. She got about $30,000. And you know what she was able to do with that $30,000? She was able to pay back that debt, that high interest debt. Now she got more money that's coming back to her. I got another young lady out of Jacksonville, Florida. She told me last October, hey, Sherwin, I want to buy a house, but I just don't have confidence that I could buy a house. I'm going to share here with you guys this week. She shared with me, man, did I get emotional about this? She shared with me, she done went through the whole process. She done applied for the loan. We went through it together, but I shared with her when she told me in October, I said, you know what? I said, get the devil behind thee. And we're going to get to a point and we're going to walk in God's authority. He's going to open up those doors for you. Single parent mother, She just shared with me this week. She shared me where the construction company was actually, she's buying a brand new home, clearing out the land, showed me the floor plans where they're going to start beginning working on her home. Man, that's some amazing things, man. When I talk to people, it's over 225 people part of this community. And I speak to you guys, on a monthly basis. And just to see where you're at and then where you're going, man, it's just amazing. If I could just share all the stories and the testimonies, it's just great, man. Another person that's on here, I won't say their business per se, right? Or say their name, but another key strategy to this is when it comes to cost basis, we learned a lot about that. If you have a relative that passes away and they have certain investments, and let's say, for instance, we use this example in 2008, right? From 2008 till day, let's say, for instance, you got a parent that passes away. And let's say, for instance, they got $100,000 in this investment account. Well, capital gains have just gained and gained and gained. Now you inherit this account. Well, what happens is you don't have to pay taxes on all those capital gains because the cost basis recalculates when you actually get inherited investment. And so that's one of the things that President Biden is trying to actually do away with, because by you taking an inherited investment, in particular in a retirement account, or in that particular regard, instead of you not having to pay taxes on it, President Biden, because we've been giving out money, been giving out stimulus checks, it's got to come somewhere. He want to take that away to where you have to pay taxes on it. And so cost basis is important when you inherit an investment account, because there's no cost basis have to pay on all those years of gains on that particular account. You don't pay any taxes on it. These are different things that, we're not learning in school, but it's very important that we be smart about it and we learn about it. Invest into our kids. I got investment accounts for my kids, but I feel like they need to be learning. We're going to be coming out next month. I showed it here about a month ago, a kids program. I recommend you. I opened up yesterday a Chase account for my 9-year-old son. This is a checking account. He go right now to Target. He like buying Legos. I give him cash. But I said, you know what? I told Leslie, we need to be an opportunity where now he can log into his Chase account and look at his money, have a debit card, and be able just to understand that. Those are just principles as far as what we might not naturally think about. But Chase has this thing as young as 6 years old. You can open up a checking account for a kid. For my military guys on here, like George, veterans, Chase is a great business bank, because now as a veteran, you can have a business bank account and it's free. Personal checking, free. We still with Bank of America. I'm still trying to get Leslie over to Chase. So, all right, I've been talking enough. I'm a little bit over an hour, but I just love this stuff, guys. I appreciate you guys for being on. And I like doing this because instead of getting the one-on-ones, oftentimes where if I can't get everybody, we do these mass group of teachings in itself here. And it's live here on Facebook as well. So if you missed any portion of this here, you can always go back over to the Facebook page and it's recorded as well. So, all right. Any final questions before we close out? All right. This has been good. You guys be well, be blessed. And as always, let's continue to win. You guys have a great Saturday. All right. Be blessed.